Alright, welcome to a very good morning over here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Fresh morning, good health, everything seems to be going on fine hours on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and it's time to bring you the best in terms of the analysis of sports. The first edition of the day was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much. So what you see, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I think you should subscribe and turn on notification. Michelle, notification turning and I choose all. Send it back anytime that there's content. You are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's a Thursday, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. There are a lot of things that we would have to talk about in terms of by way of updates, and then we'll come and talk about teams, know who they are after and stuff like that. Yes, starting in the Komono. From the news around the world, the kind of things that are going on, the analysis, of course, the big things now. Now, of course, Madrid played their first game in the Club World Cup, and it was not a good one. Just before we go on, if you're an investor, yesterday was successful, giving you 5.98 quotes. It's just the buying Madrid one. A lot of you that did the cash outs, were very successful at it. And then the codes are ready, or the description of this video, description of the video, we'll call them albums and 3 codes per hour. Yeah, they told them, give yourself a good chance of winning something else on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Now, BBI come up, and more like I told you, give yourself a chance. The codes are in the description of the video below. Of course, and now in the Club World Cup, hey, nobody knows, nobody can tell if Xabi Alonso ever far and as far. Let me repeat it again. Nobody knows and nobody can tell if Xabi Alonso ever far and as far. I think that with Senya Xabi Alonso wants to form and then gets this Madrid side to play, he has to do a little bit of a tweak. Like, it will take some time. And Uti Thibaut Courtois after the game, he was very clear in his mind and his thoughts about the fact that most of the automatisms that Madrid are used to, and then they showed yesterday, were down to what they know they know from Carlo Ancelotti. And then that's going to take some time for them to change those automatisms into Xabi Alonso's own automatisms, because it's not going to be easy at all. That's exactly what Thibaut Courtois said. What he said at the end of the game, he said, we committed a stupid penalty according to Thibaut Courtois. He goes on to say, we need to be more patient. We need to start keeping possession and then stop rushing. And Thibaut Courtois, since the Champions League semi-final almost has been very clear about some of these things. He goes on and says, after 4 years with Ancelotti, we learned some habits that are difficult to change in 4 days. Xabi wants different ways to defend and attack. We are watching videos and talking a lot. We will learn from this game. That's exactly what they are saying. And it looks as if Madrid wants to change from playing the Carlo Ancelotti physical running of channel style of football to really making sure that at the end of the day they hold on to possession, they control the pace of the game, they have the ball, play it to themselves, keep it as long as possible and not lose the ball anyhow or they do a lot of recycling, a lot of rotations. The options are not there, they take it back, they start again. And it's now as if Xabi Alonso want to focus more on control and then the possession-based style of the game, rather than just going after a win just like that. It looks as if Xabi Alonso doesn't want to do that. When Thibaut Courtois was very clear on that. And he spoke about it a lot. He spoke about the game and stuff like that. And then there was an incident between Vinny Jr. And João Cancelo after the game. One beside João Cancelo about it. Now, so he is very fast and very unpredictable. He is very hard to play against. It is always a pleasure to play against one of the best in the world. That is what Abrante friend João Cancelo about Abrante friend Vinny Jr. and what he brought onto the team. After the game, Trent Alexander-Arnold, it wasn't so much of a good performance for him. In fact, it wasn't a good performance for Abrante friend Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then he had to talk to the media, the English media were there, and so didn't come kakra. And I know Chechi Wanchom said, Charlie, it wasn't a good one for him. Now, it will take some time. Trent's defensive actions here, and every time there are a lot of questions about it, and that's why one of the things that will be very important is that Madrid would need a right center back who is very good at defending wide areas. What it means is that almost every time that person would have to help cover Trent Alexander-Arnold, or a DM who works hard enough that anytime the ball is lost and they are attacking the right hand side, comes to help Trent Alexander-Arnold, help him clean up messes and then cover up spaces for our friend Trent Alexander-Arnold. Because I mean, Trent's an important player. You get a lot of things from Trent on the ball. You get a lot of things from Trent in terms of the dictation of the pace, playmaking, essentially, and stuff like that. But if you want to get the best out of him without the ball, you need to help him. And that's how the modern game has become. And Trent, after the game, said Xabi Alonso's instructions, so my debut, it was a moment of great pride for me. I'm very happy to have debuted. It's something that most players, if not all, dream of. I'm incredibly proud, but of course, there's some disappointment with the result. This is the mentality that comes with being a Madrid player already. Trying to start taking some. The boys, once they enter Madrid, and there's some mentality, and whatnot. But of course, it wasn't the best debut for Trent Alexander-Arnold over there. It will take me time to get used to the team. That's exactly what Trent Alexander-Arnold is saying. Also, we had more on the ball in the second half, something we were lacking in the first. You have to keep the ball as much as possible to make your opponent chase it. And that is what Trent Alexander-Arnold can also. He spoke just merely about the debut and the things that went on there and all of those stuff. And Madrid could not get the win. Chelsea did their training in the lead up to Flamengo game, and there have been a lot of conversation from players, from club, from opponents, and the likes of Jorginho, Mudryk, so they would want to beat Chelsea and then get the qualification, in the Club World Cup and book their place in the round of 16. Fast. That is what a bright friend Jorginho. Enzo Maresca on pre-match press conference will talk about Chelsea, the plans for the game and what they want to do and what's not. It's very, very important. In fact, Chelsea training session now, Liam Delap was there. My brand friend Andre Santos was there. It's very, very likely say Chelsea will see a brand friend Andre Santos. They'll see Liam Delap. They'll see my brand your friend Darius Sugomu, maybe Mamadou Sarr as well. Because Mamadou Sarr was speaking. Mamadou Sarr spoke extensively about Chelsea and what they are up to and stuff like that. He spoke about Chelsea for a plan, how they wanted to play, how he got used to it, and there's a continuation of that interview. So I think I anticipate well, according to him, as a defender, and the biggest attribute is that he reads the game very well and he anticipates danger with the ball. I pick up a good pass. When I was a kid, I had a dream. It was to be the best centre back in the world. I mean, I love that mentality for my brand friend Mamadou Sarr. I've told you several times, a lot of the people that I've spoken to in the UK and a lot of the people that are close to this guy, especially his former coach Liam Rossonneau, has said extensively that this boy has the potential to be the best centre back in the world. They said that he has a great potential on the ball, off the ball, how aggressive he is, winning of draws, turning possession around and stuff like that. What they are saying is that Mamadou Sarr is probably one of the best that he can get in a job like that. And I say, I want to be like Virgil van Dijk. I love Virgil van Dijk, but some people tell me I play like Ibrahim Konate over there. It's very similar. He's a leader. For a defender, it's very important to be a leader off and on the pitch. I like to talk a lot. It's an important job. That is what Mamadou Sarr is saying. The guy has a lot of potential. One thing here, because of Mamadou Sarr, Chelsea will not have to buy any other centre back when it comes to this summer and the quality that it's coming with them. Chelsea seriously are considering a brand friend is João Pedro. He's on the list now. The real story is this: when you go to Chelsea Football Club, they had the first list on the left-hand side. And Abra Mihailo Mudryk story in the bio. Then Chelsea realized that it's going to be impossible to have Mihailo Mudryk. Again, why do I say this? After they take your sample A, they go and check, they'll come and take your sample B. Now, if both come out positive or in the light of positive, what they do is that now they will charge you because they will legal grounds, legal basis to come in and say, okay, yeah, they say first one, no any mistake. So the sample B is more like a control to check if sample A no a mistake and that's any mistake. So the sample B, if it comes out positive, says that any mistake in a at the end of who or mujam into any sadia, we are going to go on and charge you. Now the charging process can go on for another bare 6 months to a year. because we appear to the FA, over the lawyers member, maybe a FA number charge you maybe a 4 years. Then after that, he will go to the Court of Arbitration of Sport for another 2 to 3 years. So it's a long process, long process. The good thing for Mihailo Mudryk is that Chelsea have not thought of abrogating, not abrogating, but terminating the contract to him. I'm on the inside there. They still want to keep him and help him whilst he goes through the process, because in the wage, you can't say that wage be ever affected Chelsea for him. So they still want to keep him there. Now, once that story came at Chelsea for him, say a bigger deal to get Mihailo Mudryk back in the shortest possible time. What they are now doing is that they are beginning to make calls, calls. Now, why? It means that Chelsea don't need just one left winger. They need a left winger and a versatile attacker. After all of these Mihailo Mudryk issues, Chelsea need a left winger and a versatile attacker to come into their team. And that's exactly why they started making calls. Yesterday, Chelsea put a call through back to Dortmund to speak to Sebastian Kehl. And the conversation was simple. They reminded Sebastian Kehl that the boy, now your friend, Jamie Bynoe Gittins, his head is with them. Constantly they are talking to him. The boy doesn't want to stay at Dortmund. Also free Dortmund come on no Chelsea. So if that is the case, I fast finalize deal for Brighton and Jamie Bynoe Gittins. What we are hearing is that once any deal goes in the region of 60 million and there's good structure, Dortmund for are going to take for Brighton your friend. Although Chelsea for have gone back to the US, they made calls yesterday to Kehl. Gittins don't want to continue at Dortmund. His head is already at Chelsea. Fee in the range of 60 million euros might still, including add-ons, as others have reported. Now, after Sargini gets his deal, so I can remember Chelsea had approached Abrantia, their friend Malik Fofana. Now, Malik Fofana's job is supposed to be a backup to Gittins. Apart from him, those are the two backups. Then the players that are in the area of a dynamic forward now. One, there is João Pedro, Chelsea for the GDC or experience in the Premier League in the near thing or combative, can play as a centre forward, can play as an extra attacker, or any modern. Again, apart from him, there is a player that is called Morgan Rogers, who can play as a 10, can play from the left wing, can also do a midfield role of carrying the ball forward. And the boy that's called, of course, Morgan Rogers. Then the player, the other player on the list, branch friend Mohamed Kudus, who Chelsea really high last season. Mohamed Kudus, my brother West Ham for go to 60 million. Chelsea you 25 early offer of 25 million, and a man I asked Amsterdam for, and they didn't take it. They didn't take it over there. How things are going on, the quality of play, how he wants to play. They did not take that deal from Chelsea for. And today, Chelsea will have to go and buy a branch of friend Mohamed Kudus from another person. They have to bring in another person to come in and then go and do the job now. Something that is very important. We'll see how things will pan out in terms of Mohamed Kudus and Chelsea. So Chelsea, these are the things that they want to do. The Mihailo Mudryk issue has brought a lot of distress to Chelsea for. Another news from exclusive story, the deal agreed 8 days ago. Florian Wirtz arrived at Liverpool with a medical in 48 hours. All documents has been signed, and Florian Wirtz a new Liverpool player. It was official. Juan Garcia became the Barcelona player. Marc-Andre ter Stegen was very angry that Flick played Inaki Peña in the last match of the season for 2 reasons. He demanded match sharpness ahead of the Nations League. 2, he missed out on an economic bonus in his contract over the matches played in the season over there. And of course, my friend here, your friend of Marc-Andre ter Stegen, didn't have that at all. Of course, what we are hearing, and it's Mihailo Mudryk have hired Morgan Sports Law to work on his case, with Chelsea also providing support. Morgan Sports Law also represented Paul Pogba in his appeal against a 4-year doping ban, which the Court of Arbitration for Sports later reduced to 18 months over the Mudryk fund have gone on, and he has hired a lawyer that is doing that job for him. And we'll see how things are going to pan out from there when it comes to our friend Mihailo Mudryk and how he wants to play his ball. We'll see how things are going to pan out in terms of the quality of play now. We'll see how things will turn out from there. Of course, there are a lot of things that we'll have to talk about. There are a lot of things that we have to speak about in terms of Chelsea for, and of course any Barca for, and then the kind of quality that you come with and stuff like that. And you have to talk about all of that. But let's go into the part of team reference FC Barcelona and then give you some updates from there. And now a lot of things happen on Barca. First of all is the fact that Juan Laporta didn't come up with the Barca board, it was like a conference in a Juan Laporta and Michel didn't come up in front of Sport. I brought your friend Juan Garcia and down and the match training a first signing. Of course, he's a first signing for team the friend in Barcelona this season. And Barcelona really want to dominate things and get the things that are going to now. There was a meeting between Deco and Hansi Flick. The plan was simple: to prepare for next season, to plan for next season. And he found Omoko, who is going to come and then do the job for them. Then that meeting, as a normal friend Nico Williams, they spoke to him. They told him, Charlie, we are working around the clock to make sure you're able to secure a deal for you. Now, a new Barcelona player until they relax. The BBR, come on. And what is going on is that Barca sources confirm significant progress has been made with our branch friend Nico Williams. However, the deal completely depends on financial fair play. And like we said several times now, Barca deal will depend on financial fair play. They will not sign him until they can guarantee his registration until certain players are off the wage demands. That is what's going to happen. But it's a long time from now to August. A lot of things can happen. Our transfer markets, Athletic Club, I imagine some of them cash. They are tight-lipped on our branch here. Your friend Nico Williams. Anything like a tightly sealed bag. They want to renew Nico, but everything points to the same path over there when it comes to Athletic Bilbao and what they want to do with our branch friend Nico Williams and the contracts, the kind of football that they want to play and stuff like that. That's exactly what Athletic Club are trying to do over there. Manuel Neuer was literally stretching during the Bayern World Cup opener on Sunday on the phone and all stretching. After the game, the German swapped shirts with the Auckland City goalkeeper Conor Tracy, who had always dreamed of meeting him over there. I mean, what happened over there, they can understand how things are going on with respect to how these boys see Avantia, their friend Manuel Neuer, Auckland for no more border on see how things are going to go. Chelsea, Heitsen is going to be such a problem, man. I've never really cared who Madrid signed, but this one feels different. He's very good, of course. Heitsen is a very good player. Very good player. In terms of the quality of playing, he's a very good player. And we'll see how things are going to pan out from there. We'll see how things will pan out from there. Olivier Giroud, one of my friends from LA, asked him his jersey. Nothing crazy. If I remember, I just congratulated him for what he achieved for the club, etc. Always with good mood, with a smile. You know me. Even if we lost, I would have loved to play with him for sure. I think Olivier Giroud spoke about what he spoke about and his relationship with our branch friend Cole Palmer when Chelsea played LA Galaxy, LAFC or Honor. We'll see how things are going to pan out from there. Al Hilal for CEO, our friend Steve Calzada on hiring Simone Inzaghi. So we approached him, and obviously he was involved in the Champions League final. He said, "Sorry, I'm not going to listen to anything or anyone because I'm 100% focused on the final, and we can talk about that afterwards. We'll see what happens over there." Of course, after the final, Simone Inzaghi agreed. He agreed to be the next manager of team friend Al Hilal, and definitely it's happening over there. Al Hilal new manager is Simone Inzaghi, and one more first game, and it was a very good show for them. Benjamin Sesko's agent Elvis Basanovic answers us on Arsenal's RB and more. Says we have a clear plan. We will never force or blackmail Leipzig. We do things in the right way or can't do them over there. Sesko will only leave to a special club project. According to him, Benjamin Sesko will not just leave just because he wants to leave. He will leave if the project is special. Say again special, yeah, it's not coming. And we are hearing that Arsenal for now leading the race for our friend Benjamin Sesko. Napoli are preparing one more round of talks with Darwin Nunez's camp this week to make progress on their deal. There are more clubs keen, also from the Saudi Pro League, but Napoli have been trying for weeks and are currently on it for our friend Darwin Nunez. Antonio Conte is sharing team. One of the players that they've seen, their friend Darwin Nunez to come in to come and get the job done. Or next talent to sign new deal of Arsenal, Miles Lewis Kelly, Ethan Waneri. Matter of time, on extend your contract. Or Arsenal, and we'll see how things will go on from the Arsenal front. Person will extend your contract in here, so that and they'll get your boys to be there and then get the job done and then deliver in how things are going. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I will draw the curtains here this morning. I'll be back with you later in the day. So then do take care. Bye bye.